Hi Vincent, welcome at Flos. You are here today at the Flos booth presenting your recently launched system infrastructure in a brand new white finish, which is very beautiful. First of all, tell us something about this system. How would you describe it? Is it an installation, a system, a network of light? What it is?
Well, I think already the name's telling infrastructure. I think you immediately think already a little bit about structure, about something mathematical, could be something molecular, it could be some like transport of light underneath a ceiling. So I think it's all about that visible transport, literally, of lighting that is guided through a system of modular tubes that can be interconnected with then the magnet system incorporated, so that really some of the decorative elements going from a directional spot to a pendant could be part of it. So, and actually it's kind of like a three-dimensional architectural lighting layer that I developed in the space.
Good. Did you have a specific influence when you designed infrastructure? You mentioned sometimes the Bauhaus design language. Can you tell us something about it?
I mean, seeing visually the system. I mean, probably it reminds you immediately to any kind of language that is related to Bauhaus, which I'm very fond and very inspired by. I mean, I like the kind of directness of it. I mean, it's a very rational system. It's in a way very democratic and very simple, but of course, I mean, thanks to the high technology of Flos, which is incorporated, and the very subtle decorative elements that I'm adding, it become all of a sudden a very expressive kind of sculptural system.
How can a user influence and personalize himself the system? Can everyone choose and define the kind of lighting, of luminaires to be fixed to the system? And can everyone have its own personal composition?
I believe that infrastructure is a very versatile system of lighting, which can be. I mean, you can either. I mean, a person can use it in whatever context you want. It can either be in a domestic environment, like we have here, like more the white version, which is very light and fresh, or either more in a contractual or more industrial version, where it's stronger in its appearance. I mean, the fact that it's a very liberal and free system in terms of modularity allows the customer really, I mean, to configure it himself the way how to incorporate the system within the space. You can easily use one single bar with two directional spots and one element to highlight some furniture pieces in the space, and it becomes very beautiful and very poetic at the same time. Whether if you really have sunlight, like more an office or a more in a contract situation, I mean, you can definitely build up the system in a much larger configuration, in a larger grid, where it's much more about the overall lighting. So I mean, it's a very versatile system again, which can be applied in many, many contexts, and I mean, I give literally the consumer the freedom to do whatever with the system.
And what about the white color? Do you think that white is now the new mood for residences and private homes compared to the black, which is a little bit more industrial?
Well, I think the lighter color, the white we have here, is definitely a color that disappears and blends more within the general mood of an interior. It's less apparent. I mean, it's very fresh. It's very light as well. I mean, definitely light as a color, and again, this kind of freshness is very calming and very serene. And I think this is also what we all need in our hectic lives. So I think like the white color is definitely a color that will be pretty much find its way in any kind of domestic situation.
Yeah, you are also presenting your collection for the Flos Outdoor new catalog. It's called Casting. It's a family of beautiful bollards for an outdoor space. How have you solved the relation between architecture, light, and nature? What's your own vision of lighting an outdoor space?
I think obviously, as we all know, I mean, like light and space. I mean, the important parameters to be considered as architecture. Of course, I mean, like, I mean, you have to add something fresh and something. We have to add some surprise in it. So I mean, like, and I mean, these borrowed systems, they're like of kind of little protagonists, but with a very grand allure that will become, yeah, partners and protagonists in the landscape and in the gardening. And that's what I really wanted. Obviously, there's a relationship with the architecture itself through this its form, this kind of minimal, rigorous form, which I also could consider a bit like domestic architecture or domestic landscape lighting architecture. So it all belongs to that one world that we call architecture, obviously, but they're more in the, yeah, in the context of a landscape, because I mean it really enlightens, I mean, the floors and the grass and the surfaces and the nature, but again, yet with the allure of a big and a grand presence in the landscape.
Last question. What is your relation with Flos? How is it working with Flos? Do you enjoy it? Is it some kind of empathy that you have with the brand or with the people you work with? What's your feeling about Flos?
Well, I think, I mean, first of all, I mean, it's a true honor to be part of Flos and to contribute to such an incredible brand. I think it's all about gathering and sharing, I mean, a huge amount of talent. So it's definitely not a one-way direction. I mean, it's only the start of a very long-lasting relationship, and I'm more than happy to contribute more in the coming next future.
Thank you so much, Vincent. Thanks a lot. Thank you.